They say hindsight's 2020. I should have noticed when my 8-year-old asked at breakfast, "Daddy, should I tell you about last night?" The way my wife's face went white. The panic in her eyes. But I trusted her. 15 years of marriage. And I thought I knew her. I was wrong. Dead wrong. My name's Graham Holloway. I'm 62 years old. Been managing the Riverside manufacturing plant for 18 years. Honest work, demanding work. I married Cassandra 15 years ago when I was 47 and she was 32. People talked about the age difference, but we didn't care. We had Owen 8 years ago, and that boy became my whole world. That Tuesday morning started normal. I was up at 5:30, coffee brewing while I checked emails. Production numbers, maintenance issues in Bay 3, the usual. Cassandra came down around 6:45, dressed for yoga. She taught 3 mornings a week at the community center. Or so she said. I made scrambled eggs while Owen sat at the kitchen table with his Legos. Morning light came through the window I'd replaced last spring. Cassandra poured coffee, scrolled her phone, didn't look at me. Regional manager's coming today, I said, sliding eggs onto plates. Probably won't be home until 7. She replied, eyes still on her screen. Owen pushed his Legos aside when I set his plate down. Good kid. Always said his thank yous. He started eating, then stopped, fork halfway to his mouth. He looked at his mother with those big brown eyes. Mommy, he said, voice small and uncertain. Should I tell Daddy about last night? The kitchen went silent. I stood at the stove, spatula in hand, watching my wife's face cycle through expressions. Fear, anger, calculation. She forced out a laugh that sounded brittle. Owen, sweetie, we talked about this, she said, voice tight. Remember? That was just a game. But you said, Owen. Her tone sharpened. Eat your breakfast. I set the spatula down carefully. What happened last night? Nothing happened, Cassandra said quickly. Too quickly. He's talking about a cartoon. Right, Owen. Our son looked between us, confusion and fear on his face. He was 8 years old. He shouldn't feel either of those things at breakfast. Owen, I said gently. What did you want to tell me, buddy? Don't interrogate him, Graham. Cassandra stood up, chair scraping tile. He's a child. He doesn't know what he's saying. I'm not interrogating anyone. I'm asking our son a question. There's nothing to ask about. Her voice rose. You're always doing this. Always looking for problems. Always suspicious, always. I'm suspicious. The words came out hard. Our son asks if he should tell me about last night. And you shut him down. You don't think that's worth talking about. She grabbed her yoga mat, her purse. I'm not doing this right now. I have a class to teach. Cassandra. The front door slammed. Through the window, I watched her back out too fast, tires squealing. Owen was crying quietly. I sat beside him, pulled him close. Hey, it's okay, buddy. You're not in trouble. Mommy's mad at me, he whispered. No, she's not mad at you. I held my son while his eggs got cold, and try not to think about the look on Cassandra's face. Try not to think about how she'd left without kissing either of us goodbye. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not for the rest of that very long day. I couldn't focus at work that day. The regional manager walked through Bay 3, asking questions about efficiency metrics, and I gave him answers on autopilot. My mind was back in that kitchen, watching Owen's frightened face, hearing Cassandra's 2 quick denials. During lunch break, I sat in my office and called her. Straight to voicemail. I tried again an hour later. Same thing. By 3 o'clock, I was dialing every 15 minutes. Nothing. She finally answered at 4:30. What, Graham? Her voice was clipped, annoyed. We need to talk about this morning. There's nothing to talk about. I already told you. I leaned back in my chair, rubbed my eyes. Cassandra, our son was scared. You left without explaining anything. You can't just pretend. I'm not pretending anything, she interrupted. You're the one making a mountain out of nothing. Owen had a bad dream. I comforted him. End of story. Then why did he ask if he should tell me? Silence on the line. Then, I don't know, Graham. Maybe because you're always so intense about everything. Maybe he thought you'd overreact. Which, by the way, you are. The words stung more than they should have. I'm trying to understand what's happening in my own house. Nothing is happening. God, you're exhausting sometimes. I heard traffic noise in the background. Look, I'm at the store. Can we talk about this later? What store? I thought you had yoga this morning, and then you'd be home. Another pause. Longer this time. I had some errands to run. Is that okay with you? Or do I need permission to leave the house now? That's not what I'm saying. I have to go. I'll be home by 6. She hung up before I could respond. I sat there staring at my phone. Something was off. The defensiveness, the quick anger, the way she turned it all around on me, making me feel like I was crazy for asking basic questions. My first wife, Angela, died in a car accident 12 years ago. T-boned at an intersection by a drunk driver running a red light. I'd been working late that night. Told her I'd pick up dinner on my way home. If I'd left on time, if I'd been driving instead of her, maybe she'd still be alive. I carried that guilt for years. Cassandra knew that. Knew how I blamed myself for not being there. Was she using that against me now? Making me doubt my own instincts. I left work at 5, drove home with my knuckles white on the steering wheel. Cassandra's car was in the driveway when I pulled up. Through the kitchen window, I could see her moving around, making dinner like nothing had happened. Owen was in the living room, building a Lego castle. I sat down beside him. "Hey, buddy. How was school?" "Good," he said quietly, not looking up from his blocks. "Want to tell me about it?" He shrugged. "We learned about fractions." I waited, giving him space. Finally, he looked at me. "Dad, am I in trouble for what I said at breakfast?" My heart broke a little. "No, son. You're never in trouble for telling the truth. Mommy said I shouldn't talk about last night anymore. She said it would upset you." Before I could respond, Cassandra appeared in the doorway. "Dinner's ready," she announced, her smile bright and false. "Come on, you two. I made your favorite, Graham. Pot roast." She walked away, leaving me sitting there with our son and 1,000 unasked questions. Something was definitely wrong, and I was going to find out what. That night, I couldn't sleep. Cassandra was beside me, breathing deep and steady, while I stared at the ceiling counting the hours. Around 2 a.m., I got up for water, passed through the kitchen, and saw her purse on the counter. She never left her purse out. Never. I stood there in the dark, knowing I shouldn't look, but unable to stop myself. My hand reached out, pulled it open. Wallet, keys, lipstick. Then I saw it. A second phone. Cheap Android with a pink case, tucked in the side pocket. My hand started shaking. I pulled it out, pressed the power button. The screen lit up with notifications. Text messages. Dozens of them. All from a contact labeled. I opened the thread. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Usual place. Miss you already. Last night was incredible. When are you going to tell him?" My vision blurred. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. Months, maybe. Plans to meet. Photos I couldn't bring myself to look at closely. References to Owen, to me, to our life together, like it was all just an obstacle to work around. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. Went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face. Looked at myself in the mirror. 62 years old. Gray hair. Lines around my eyes. When did I become so easy to fool? The next morning, I said nothing. Watched Cassandra make coffee, kiss Owen's head, check that second phone when she thought I wasn't looking. She left for yoga at 8:30. I called in sick to work. First time in 3 years. Then I called my younger brother, David. We hadn't spoken in almost 2 years, not since our mother's funeral when we'd argued about her estate. He'd accused me of manipulating Mom's will, said things that cut deep. But he was a paralegal now, worked for a divorce attorney. If anyone could help me, it was him. "Graham." He sounded surprised when he answered. "Everything okay?" "No," I said. "No, it's not. I need your help, David. I think Cassandra is having an affair." Silence on the line. "Then, tell me everything." I did. The phone, the messages, Owen's question at breakfast, all of it. When I finished, David was quiet for a long moment. "I'm coming over," he finally said. "And Graham, I'm sorry for what I said at Mom's funeral. I was drunk and grieving, and I took it out on you. You didn't deserve that." My throat tightened. Water under the bridge. "No, it's not. But we'll fix that later. Right now, we need to protect you and Owen. Don't confront her yet. Don't let on that you know. We need evidence, documentation, everything. Already ahead of you," I said. "I'm taking photos of that phone tonight." "Good man. I'll be there in 2 hours." After we hung up, I went to Owen's school, pulled him out early. Told the secretary it was a family matter. Mrs. Patterson, his teacher, caught me in the hallway. "Mr. Holloway, is everything all right? Owen's been withdrawn lately. Has he said anything to you? About home?" She hesitated. "He drew a picture in art class yesterday. A house with very thick walls and a figure he labeled the secret man. I was going to call you. My stomach dropped. Can I see it? She brought it from her classroom. There it was. Our house, drawn in crayon. Owen standing outside. A shadowy figure in a window. Thank you, I managed. I'll handle this. I took Owen home, let him watch cartoons while I paced. David arrived at noon, took one look at me, and pulled me into a hug. We're going to fix this, he said. I promise. David spread files across my dining room table like a general planning a campaign. He'd brought a forensic accountant named Margaretchen with him, a sharp-eyed woman in her 60s who looked like somebody's grandmother, but talked like a prosecuting attorney. First things first, David said. We document everything. That phone, bank accounts, her schedule, everything. Margaret's going to look at your finances. What am I looking for? I asked. Margaret pulled out a laptop. Unusual withdrawals. New accounts. Credit cards you don't know about. If she's having an affair, she's spending money somewhere. I gave her access to our bank records. Within 30 minutes, her expression changed. Mr. Holloway, do you remember taking out a home equity line of credit last March? My blood went cold. No, there's one here. $50,000. Opened March 15th. She turned the screen toward me. That's your signature. I stared at the document. It looked like my signature, the same way I signed my name. But March 15th, that was the day of my mother's funeral, I said slowly. I was in Ohio. David, you were there. My brother leaned over, looked at the document. His face went hard. She forged it. That's fraud, Margaret said quietly. Federal fraud, because it crossed state lines. Where did the money go? She pulled up more documents. My hands curled into fists as I saw it. Joint account. Cassandra Holloway and Mason Knight. Who's Mason Knight? David asked. I pulled out my phone, did a quick search. His social media popped up immediately. 36 years old. Owned a CrossFit gym across town. Profile full of shirtless photos. Inspirational quotes about living your best life. That's where my $50,000 went, I said, voice flat. To fund her boyfriend's failing business. Margaret kept digging. There's more. Cash withdrawals. Hotels. Restaurants. They've spent $43,000 in 8 months. I stood up, walked to the window, tried to breathe. My son's college fund gone. The money I'd worked overtime to build, stolen. Graham, David said carefully. We've got her. Forged signature, embezzlement, fraud. This isn't just divorce territory. This is criminal. Good, I said and meant it. What do we do next? We get Owen evaluated by a child psychologist. Document the emotional impact. We photograph that phone. We find out everything we can about Mason Knight. And then, David's expression was grim. Then we bury her in court. Margaret was still typing. Mr. Holloway, there's something else. She's got another account. Offshore. Cayman Islands. How much? $15,000 so far. And there are airline reservations. 2 tickets to Cabo San Lucas. Departure date is 3 weeks from now. David and I looked at each other. She was going to run, I said. Take the money and disappear. What about Owen? David asked. I don't think he was part of the plan. The room went silent. My wife had stolen from me, lied to me, and was planning to abandon our son. The woman I'd loved for 15 years, who I'd trusted with everything, was a stranger. Let's get to work, I said. I want everything documented. Every lie, every dollar, every message. When we're done, she won't know what hit her. I took Owen to Dr. Sarah Mitchell the next afternoon. David had recommended her, said she specialized in children dealing with family trauma. Her office was warm, filled with toys and books, designed to put kids at ease. Mr. Holloway, I'll speak with Owen alone first, Dr. Mitchell said. Then we'll talk. I sat in the waiting room for 45 minutes, watching the clock. Every minute felt like an hour. Finally, the door opened. Owen came out, went straight to the toy corner without looking at me. Dr. Mitchell gestured me into her office. Your son is carrying significant anxiety, she said, closing the door. He's been placed in a position of keeping adult secrets. That's a form of emotional manipulation, Mr. Holloway. It's damaging. She showed me drawings Owen had made. Houses with thick walls. A figure labeled Dad, standing outside. Another labeled me, inside with bars on the windows. And a shadow figure he'd labeled M. Who's M? I asked, though I already knew. He wouldn't say. But he drew this. She showed me another picture. A car with a woman inside, surrounded by red crayon. He said this is what happens when people don't listen. My blood ran cold. What does that mean? I think he's afraid. Of what exactly, I'm not sure. But Mr. Holloway, this child needs stability. He needs to know at least one parent is a safe harbor. What do you recommend? Primary custody to you. Supervised visitation for the mother until she completes counseling. Owen needs protection from whatever's happening in your home. I left with a formal report in hand. Legal documentation of what Cassandra had done to our son. David was waiting in my truck, saw my face. That bad. Worse. I handed him the report. She's been using him, making him keep her secrets. He's terrified, David. My brother's jaw tightened. We've got her now. Between this and the financial fraud, she won't get anywhere near custody. That night, Cassandra came home late. 10:30. Smelled like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. Where have you been? I asked from the couch. Book club ran long. She didn't even look at me, just headed for the stairs. There is no book club. She froze. Turned slowly. Excuse me. I checked. The community center hasn't hosted a book club in 3 months. The organizer had surgery. Her face shifted through emotions. Are you spying on me now? I'm trying to understand why my wife lies to me. I'm not doing this, Graham. She started up the stairs. I'm tired. I know about Mason. She stopped. Didn't turn around. Just stood there, hand on the railing. I know about the money. The forged signature. The offshore account. All of it. When she faced me, her expression was cold. Hard. Nothing like the woman I'd married. So what are you going to do about it? She asked. You're 62 years old, Graham. Who's going to believe you over me? Who's going to take your side when I tell them how controlling you are? How you manipulated a younger woman into marriage? How you use your age and money to keep me trapped? I have proof. She laughed. Actually laughed. Proof of what? That I opened a joint account. That I have a friend? You can't prove anything. We'll see what a judge thinks. Do your worst. She came down 2 steps, got close. But remember, I know things too. About Angela's accident. About how you blame yourself. About your nightmares. I'll make you look unstable, Graham. I'll make sure everyone knows you're a paranoid old man who couldn't satisfy his wife. She went upstairs. I heard the guest room door lock. I sat there in the dark, hands shaking with rage. But I didn't move. Didn't chase her. Because David's words echoed in my head. Desperate people make mistakes. Let her feel confident. Let her think she was winning. The trap was already set. 3 days later, I scheduled a meeting at my house. Told Cassandra her lawyer needed to be there. Told her it was time to discuss terms. She agreed, probably thinking she had the upper hand. David came early, helped me set up. Margaret spread her files across the dining room table. The same table where we'd eaten family dinners for 15 years. Where Owen had done his homework. Where Cassandra had smiled and lied to my face. Mason arrived first. Didn't want to come. You could see it in every line of his body. Kept glancing at the door like he wanted to bolt. His lawyer was young. Expensive suit. Slick back hair. Cassandra came next with her attorney. She looked perfect. Hair and makeup done. Modest dress. Small cross necklace. Playing the victim before anyone even spoke. We all sat. My table. My house. My terms. Cassandra's lawyer started. My client is here in good faith to discuss an amicable separation. Your client forged my signature, I said, cutting him off. Margaret stood, laid out the first document. Home equity loan. Notarized March 15th. Mr. Holloway's signature. Another document. Mr. Holloway's mother's death certificate. March 14th. Another. Plane ticket. Mr. Holloway was in Ohio when this was supposedly signed. We have witnesses. Photos from the funeral. The lawyer's face changed. He turned to Cassandra. Did you know about this? She didn't answer. Margaret continued. Joint account. Cassandra Holloway and Mason Knight. $50,000 deposited. $43,000 withdrawn. Hotels. Restaurants. Cash. And this. She pulled up a photo on her laptop. A boat. Purchased by Mason Knight. Down payment $30,000. Mason's lawyer had his head in his hands. There's more, David said. He pulled out Dr. Mitchell's report. Psychological evaluation of Owen Holloway. States the child has been emotionally manipulated. Forced to keep adult secrets. Shows signs of anxiety and trauma. He spread out Owen's drawings. The houses with walls. The shadow figure. The car surrounded by red. Your client has stolen from her husband and psychologically damaged her child, David said. This isn't divorce court. This is criminal court territory. This is insane, Cassandra said, voice rising. Graham is twisting everything. He's controlling, manipulative. Then explain the offshore account, Margaret interrupted. Cayman Islands. $15,000. And the plane tickets to Mexico. 2 adults. No child. Departure in 10 days. The room went silent. Mason stood up suddenly. I'm done. This is on you, Cassandra. You said he was loaded, that we'd take him for everything. You planned all of it. Sit down, his lawyer snapped. No. She forged his signature. I saw her practicing. She had samples of his handwriting, practiced for weeks. I told her it was wrong, but she said, shut up. Cassandra screamed. Mr. Knight, David said calmly. Keep talking. Mason looked at me. She said you were old and stupid, that you'd never fight back, that we'd get the money and disappear. The boat was supposed to be our start in Mexico. Cassandra was shaking with rage. You coward. You absolute coward. Better a coward than facing federal fraud charges. David leaned forward. Here are our terms. Full custody to Graham. You pay back every penny. $43,000. You find it, borrow it, sell everything you own. Or we file criminal charges. Federal embezzlement. Interstate fraud. 10 years minimum. Cassandra's lawyer whispered to her. Long conversation. Her face crumpled. I don't have that much, she finally said. Then you figure it out. You've got 72 hours. Mason was already heading for the door, his lawyer chasing after him. Cassandra looked at me one last time. Graham, please. You stole from our son. You made him afraid in his own home. You forged my name and planned to abandon him. I stood up. Get out of my house. You've got 3 days. She left, her lawyer trailing behind. When they were gone, David put a hand on my shoulder. You did good, brother. I looked at the papers scattered across my table. 15 years of marriage reduced to evidence of fraud. Yeah, I said. Now let's make sure she never hurts Owen again. 2 days after the meeting, a car pulled into my driveway. Eleanor Winters, Cassandra's mother. 70 years old, elegant, steel-spined. I'd always respected her, even liked her. She'd raised Cassandra alone after her husband left when Cassandra was 12. I opened the door. Eleanor stood there with her purse clutched tight, face drawn. Graham, may I come in? Of course. I stepped aside. We sat in the living room. She declined coffee, sat with her back straight, hands folded. Cassandra called me yesterday, she said quietly. Told me you're trying to destroy her, that you manufactured evidence, that you're using your money to take Owen from her. I waited. Didn't defend myself. Just waited. Then I called my accountant, asked him to look into something. She pulled papers from her purse. She borrowed $30,000 from my retirement account 6 months ago. Said it was for Owen's education. I believed her. It wasn't for Owen. No, it went to that man. That Mason person. Her hands trembled slightly. I spoke with David this morning. He showed me everything. The forged signature. The psychological report on Owen. The offshore account. She looked at me, eyes wet. I raised her better than this. I taught her integrity, honesty. Where did I fail? You didn't fail, Eleanor. She made her own choices. I'm here to apologize. Her voice cracked. For what my daughter has done to you and Owen. And to tell you I'm testifying for you. Whatever you need from me, you have it. Eleanor, you don't have to. Yes, I do. That child is my grandson. And he needs protection, even if it's from his own mother. She stood, composed herself. I'm also calling her loan. She has to pay back the $30,000. I'm not funding her destruction of this family. After she left, I sat there stunned. Even Cassandra's own mother had turned against her. David called an hour later. Did Eleanor come by? Yeah, she's testifying for us. There's more. Mason's gym is being foreclosed. Turns out he owes money to a dozen clients for training packages he never delivered. They're filing complaints. When he realizes he's facing fraud charges on multiple fronts, he'll flip on Cassandra completely. How long? Days. Maybe hours. He's a coward, Graham. He'll save himself first. That night, Cassandra came to the house. Didn't knock, just used her key. I was in the kitchen with Owen, helping with homework. We need to talk, she said. Her eyes were red, makeup smeared. Owen, go upstairs, buddy. But Dad, my math. I'll help you finish in a minute. Go on. He went, looking back once with worry in his eyes. Cassandra sat at the table. My mother called. She's siding with you. I know. Mason's lawyer dropped him. Says he won't represent him anymore. I know that too. She looked at me, really looked at me. How did this happen, Graham? How did we get here? You forged my signature. Stole $50,000. Had an affair. Planned to abandon our son. I kept my voice level. You did this. I made mistakes. Mistakes. I leaned forward. You destroyed our family for a 36-year-old with a failing gym. You traumatized our son. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. She started crying. Real tears this time. I'll pay it back. All of it. Just please, don't take Owen from me. You took yourself from Owen the moment you made him keep your secrets. I stood up. You've got 24 hours to accept our terms. After that, we file criminal charges. She left without another word. Upstairs, Owen was sitting on his bed, clutching his stuffed bear. Is Mommy leaving? He asked. Yeah, buddy. But you're staying with me. You're safe. He hugged me tight. Good. I feel safe with you, Dad. That's all I needed to hear. The next afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Woman's voice, young, scared. Is this Graham Holloway? Yes. Who's this? My name's Ashley. I'm 23, and I'm pregnant with Mason Knight's baby. My hand tightened on the phone. Go on. I didn't know about your wife. About any of it. Mason told me he was single, that he loved me. Then yesterday his lawyer called me. Said I might be subpoenaed. Her voice shook. I went to the gym to confront him. He admitted everything. Said your wife promised him money to start fresh. That they were planning to leave together. Did he say anything else? He showed me texts. Plans they made. He said if he's going down, she's going down with him. Mr. Holloway, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It's not your fault, Ashley. But I need you to do something. Will you testify to what Mason told you? Silence. Then, yes. He used me. Used my feelings. I'll tell the truth. I called David immediately. We've got another witness. Mason's pregnant girlfriend. She'll testify. That seals it. Cassandra's done. That evening, Mason called me directly. We need to talk, he said. No cockiness now. Just fear. I'm listening. I'll testify against Cassandra. Everything she planned. Everything she did. I'll give you all the texts, emails, everything. But you need to tell the DA I'm cooperating. Why should I help you? Because I've got proof she planned to frame you. Make it look like you were abusive. She had recordings of arguments, edited to make you sound threatening. She was going to use them to get full custody and then disappear with Owen. My blood went cold. She was going to take my son until I told her it was too risky. That's when we switched to the Mexico plan. He paused. Look, I'm a screw-up. I know that. But I'm not evil. That kid doesn't deserve what she's planning. Send me everything. Tonight. Already done. Check your email. I hung up and opened my laptop. There it was. Hundreds of messages. Audio files. Photos. A complete record of Cassandra's plans to destroy me and take Owen. David came over within the hour. We went through everything. This is bigger than we thought, he said. She wasn't just stealing money. She was planning to destroy your reputation, take Owen, and disappear. If Mason hadn't gotten cold feet, I didn't want to think about it. The next morning, Cassandra's lawyer called. My client accepts your terms. Full custody to you. Supervised visitation. Repayment of all funds. She's borrowing from family to make the first payment. And the psychological counseling. She's agreed to everything. After I hung up, I sat in my office at the plant, looking out at the production floor. 200 people down there, depending on this place for their livelihoods. I'd kept this plant running through recessions, supply chain nightmares, labor disputes. I'd never backed down from a challenge. And I wasn't backing down now. That afternoon, I picked Owen up from school. Mrs. Patterson stopped me. Mr. Holloway, I wanted to tell you. Owen's been different this week. Happier. More engaged. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Thank you. That means everything. In the car, Owen was humming, playing with his action figure. Dad. Yeah, buddy. When Mommy comes to visit, will you be there? Every time. I promise. Good. He went back to his toy. I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. We drove home through the evening light, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. For months passed. Owen thrived. His nightmares stopped. His drawings changed from dark houses to bright skies and smiling stick figures. Dr. Mitchell said he was healing faster than expected. Cassandra's supervised visits happened every other Saturday, for hours at a community center with a social worker present. Owen went willingly but always seemed relieved to come home. David moved into my guest house. Said he was staying close to help, but I think he just wanted family nearby. We had dinner together most nights, him and me and Owen. Sometimes Eleanor joined us. She'd cut Cassandra out of her life completely, said she couldn't support what her daughter had done. At work, production numbers were up. The regional manager sent a commendation letter. People noticed I was different, lighter somehow. One of my shift supervisors said I smiled more. Mason's gym closed. He filed bankruptcy, moved back to his parents' place 2 states over. Last I heard, he was working construction, paying off debts. Ashley had her baby, a girl. She sent me a photo with a note. Thank you for telling the truth. Eleanor started a college fund for Owen with the $30,000 Cassandra had repaid her. Said it was what the money should have been used for in the first place. One Saturday evening, Owen and I were shooting hoops in the driveway. David came out with beers for us, juice box for Owen. Dad, Uncle David says you're a hero. Owen said, dribbling the ball. I'm not a hero, buddy. Just a dad doing what dads do. Protecting your family, David added. That's what heroes do. Owen made a basket, threw his hands up. I want to be like you when I grow up, Dad. Strong and brave. I pulled him into a hug, felt his small arms around my waist. Yeah, I thought, we're going to be okay. 7 months after everything ended, life had found its rhythm. Owen was 8 years old, excelling in school, laughing again. The weight he'd carried was gone. I stood on my porch one Saturday morning, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. David's truck was parked beside mine. He'd become a permanent fixture, the brother I'd lost and found again. A moving truck pulled up next door. The house had been empty for months. A woman got out, late 30s, helping a teenage girl unload boxes. I walked over. Morning. I'm Graham. Welcome to the neighborhood. She smiled. Warm, genuine. Kelly. This is my daughter, Brianna. We're starting fresh after a divorce. Good place for it. Need help. We spent the morning carrying furniture. David joined in. Owen played with Brianna's younger brother in the yard. By afternoon, Kelly had invited us for pizza once she got settled. That evening, Owen was building Legos at the kitchen table. Dad. Yeah, buddy. Are you happy? I thought about it. About everything we'd lost and everything we'd gained. About David sleeping in the guest house. About Eleanor coming for dinner tomorrow. About the future stretching ahead. Uncertain, but full of possibility. Yes, son. I am. Me too. I looked out the window. Kelly was on her porch, waving. I waved back. Owen went back to his Legos. David came in from the garage, grabbed a beer from the fridge. You did good, Graham, he said quietly. We did good. Couldn't have survived this without you. That's what family does. The sun set over the neighborhood, painting everything gold. My house, my son, my brother, my life. All of a hard one. All of it worth fighting for. I'd lost a wife, but kept my integrity. Lost a marriage, but found the truth. Lost my illusions, but gained something real. Owen laughed at something he built. The sound filled the kitchen, pure and unafraid. That sound was everything. That sound was why I fought. And standing there in my home with my family, I knew we were going to be more than okay. We were going to be great.